Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson this evening, and I'm joined with one of our sister. I told you today we are going to start with our diaspora episode. Let me take this opportunity to give her so that she can say a word of hi to our viewers who will be watching and those who will be joining us now.
Hi
Hello.
guys. Hello. Thank you, Brother Benson, for having me.
Mm.
And my name is Vivian Akinyi, and I'm joining you guys live from United States of America in New York, New York.
Mm.
And it's a privilege to be here and to actually join Brother Benson, who is also a Jalua like me. So I know I know that it's there. That's where we the vibe is vibing. So thank you for having me, Brother Benson, first and
Okay.
foremost.
We are also taking this opportunity to thank you, especially to spare your time to be with us in this conversation. And you are the first person that we are hosting, especially on our diaspora episode, whereby we want to listen to voices from diaspora, especially when we look at what is happening in the country. So, to begin with, I know you're a Kenyan and you are interested in everything that is taking place in your home country. From where you sit, what can you say about the state of the country from where you sit, in your own opinion?
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
From where I see it is heartbreaking. Then if I could break it down in a simple mathematic or simple anything, it's just heartbreaking. The conditions are very heartbreaking.
So maybe if you can point out one thing that is worrying you about the state of
The
Kenya.
um, the
Somebody,
lack
yeah.
the lack of daily essentials, the essential, that's I feel like that's what's heartbreaking. That to see your own people not having the daily essentials of life,
Mm.
so that's what makes it heartbreaking. So
Where do you think the problem lies?
government.
Mm.
And so we have to start with the government. We have to look at our leaders. We have to look at who's in charge, who's the government.
The government. So let's say, for instance, because like we are talking about the leadership of the country, we have those who have been given the opportunity, like the president or the administration of the day. The blame squarely lie on them. What about when you look at the opposition, those who are given that mandate to put the government on check? Are they doing better than, or they are still sluggish behind or laggishing behind in terms of accountability?
Well, if I could say, for me, being all the way in the U.S., could see the conditions being heartbreaking and not being met from my eyes and my standards, then
Yeah.
no, they're not doing their job. It's terrifying. Even as a Kenyan citizen to go visit there, it's terrifying to come visit a country in that condition. No, they're not doing their job.
They're not
Absolutely
doing.
not.
So when you look at what about the people who are elected, the legislators who are elected to also to present or to make sure that they fight for the people and legislating or enacting good laws that can assist the people? Are the elective members of parliament doing good, great in the legislature?
Well, you have two people. You have two types of people in government. You have people that are gonna fight for the people, and you have people that are gonna fight for themselves. So you got to choose your leaders wisely, and also while they're in power in those positions, you got to know who's fighting for you. So I just feel like there are some leaders that are fighting for the people, and there are some that are just fighting for themselves and their pockets, and it's evident, in the conditions and the state.
Go ahead. Sorry, I was going. I was going back to Facebook and like, okay, go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, so like you could just look at the state and the current
Mm,
conditions of where we are as a nation. They're not doing their job, and there's those leaders that are fighting, but there's not enough of them.
mm,
And there's also not enough people that also are empathetic or even compassionate about others. Humans, we are also at fault. Number one, we are the problem.
So, when you say that we are the problem, so who are these we? Are they the leadership or the citizens?
We human beings, period. Because we elect the leaders. We decide not to go elect the leaders. We are the problem. We decide not to care about others besides ourselves. So we got to look at ourselves first. We are the problem.
When you look at, because like you're somebody who lives abroad, like you're in diaspora in United States of America, when you compare how system works and how Kenyan system, you compare the two systems, where do you feel there's a gap, especially when you look at
that's a huge gap. That's a big gap. I mean, I am honored and it's a privilege to live here and to come even to see the system in Kenya is completely backward and slow. I cannot even tell you something that takes maybe 30 minutes, takes 6 hours there, and it's absolutely frustrating. So it's a huge gap. And it's a huge gap.
But there are some, there are Kenyans, especially some of our leaders who have always traveled to the United States and they've come for benchmarking. And when they go back home, they don't put what they've learned, especially.
Yes, they don't implement what they learn. They don't implement. They're not innovative. They even come see. They say they were educated in other countries, but they don't go implement what they saw. And that is the problem. They lack innovation.
So the problem is with the leadership.
Yes, government, the leadership. We lack leaders that are able to implement the education that they so-called say they mastered or went to school for. You have to implement what you went to school for. Apply it then.
All right, thank you so much. I want to bring you back to 2024, especially in June, when young people came out, especially to advocate or to protest against some of the measures that were put in place by the government. As a Kenyan in diaspora, when you saw that was happening, what came to your mind?
There's a lot of things on my mind, but what exactly is your question? Because maybe I'm not. Take me back to the incident that you're talking about.
I'm talking about the finance bill. That was a big issue, especially in Kenya. And this was a protest that was organized by the Gen Z.
Right. That was brought up by our sister Sheila. I think I remember seeing it from Sheila.
Yes. And they had that protest. Then the president had to dissolve his cabinet. Again, the Right Honorable had to come, brought into the broad-based government, and is now where we are. If you followed it keenly as a Kenyan in diaspora, when those were happening, even the killings that took place during those times, what came to your mind when you look at your country?
What immediately came to my mind, it's time for us to rise. It's time for a change immediately. That's what my immediate, and I salute and shout out to the people that are standing out boldly and, are fighting for that change and, are on the front lines doing what they are supposed to be doing and fighting for that change.
All right. Okay. And I know you follow the politics of Kenya. Before the death of the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, there was this, what we call the broad-based government that we still have until today. If you do your assessment, because you are somebody living in diaspora and following on the news that is taking place in Kenya, is there anything that you can point out that the broad-based government has achieved, especially since the time it was the memorandum was signed to date, as somebody who is outside the country?
First of all, you might have to this term broad-based that you guys use. I laugh at it. I laugh at it. I laugh at this term all the time. You know, you educate me a little bit on what specifically do you guys mean.
So let me give you in a context of Kenyan context. Broad-based is when the late honorable Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga and President William Ruto came into agreement. There are some people or some individuals, or we call them experts, were proposed to work in the government. So the broad-based means now the government of President William Ruto under the party of UDA and the ODM party, they sign an agreement, especially working on some 10-point agenda. And now they say that now it is a broad-based government. It is a government that has included ODM, and they agreed on some of the things that they were going to do for the Kenyan people. So, as somebody who has a family is in Kenya, and also you live abroad, so maybe when you're having those conversations with your family members, are there some of the things that they are pointing out that okay, these are what has happened, changes that we've seen ever since this took place?
Well, thank you for that little bit of enlightenment on what I thought were exactly what you said, but I just wanted to. Now I have to confirm because what you guys are funny, man. So yeah, I do get calls, and no, there's still no jobs. Number one, job opportunities. Absolutely. So there's even if you want to make it a broad base government, as you say, including there is no inclusion. There is no, from what I see, there's only one tribe that have jobs, or there's no inclusion. There people lack jobs. So no, broad base, nothing.
So broad-based has not really achieved much for Kenyans.
No,
But
absolutely not.
but when you're looking in the future, maybe do you see them achieving some of the challenges that you spoke about earlier?
I think we just need to change the whole mentality. So maybe drop the whole broad base and just change the mentality completely.
So who do you think who are going to change this?
The youth, the Gen Zs will follow. So the youth, the old people that are in government currently, that were in government, they are completely delusional at this point, if you ask me.
Okay, thank you. But do you think the youths understand what is at stake?
I think so. I think so. I think we do. I think there's a lot of youth that are educated enough, that has the knowledge, the power, the persistent, everything. Yes, there's enough of us out there.
I know you have a very close tie with Sheila Olang, and because I'm coming from Migori, I've always advocated for some good reasons.
Yes.
When you're having conversation with her, especially on her leadership, especially because she's vying for women,
yes, absolutely.
Yeah. When you're having conversation with her, what are some of the major conversation you are having in terms of leadership? Where is the gap that she's seeing in that county?
Well, right now, as you know, Sheila is on the front line doing everything possible to bring women to the front. Her major passion is to empower women, as she is doing currently. So there's no conversation to be out. She's showing by action what she is gonna do and is willing to do by action, and that is what's needed. Action. There's no talking. There's action. She's acting, doing exactly what she's supposed to be doing, what other people need to be doing.
When we look at Sheila, and because there is this hostility, especially when it comes to campaigns, especially when it comes to gender issue, how do you see Sheila handling it, especially the violence?
Very well, like the man, like the woman. She's handling it very well. Very well. Shout out to her. Very well. We're absolutely proud of her. Product of New York.
Now let's come back to the youths of Kenya, that you've spoken about, of rising up to the occasion, and change the whole narrative and even the whole system. And what are some of the um, issues or some of the driving factors that they should look into? What can drive them so that they can rise up, so that they can bring in change that they want?
I mean, well, money. I don't want to say, because the love of money is the root to all evil. I don't want that to be, what drives people. Maybe that's a big enough motivation, but maybe, maybe that them not not wanting to be poor, or not the lack,
Mhm.
not being in need. If that's not enough, I don't know what you need to drive you to stand up for a change. Just being tired of needing,
But
being
but
in
when
need should be enough.
when you look at our politics, especially you look at the Kenyan politics, the narratives, the issue of tribe, the issue of voter bribery, the issue of violence. So how can the young people who feel like this is not something that we need, they can overcome this? What should be their roadmap, especially to overcome this violence, bribery, and all that?
I mean, number one, I think people should remember that you're gonna meet your maker one day. You're gonna. When I mean maker, your creator, mean God. So when you talk about bribery,
Mm-hmm.
that monetary gain only lasts for a very short time. So there's nothing really that you can do to stop that. But if I could, shed some light, would be one day you will meet your maker.
Okay.
So
Okay. I've seen you are a fan of Edwin Sifuna. The same time, you are also somebody who is following up Winnie Odinga, uh, um, political uh, view, because I've seen on your post. When somebody asks you maybe to say something about Edwin Sifuna, what would you say about Sifuna?
I think Safuna deserves and should be our next president.
What
If
do you make, what do you make you feel so that he should be the president?
I just he has that passion, he has that drive. I
Mm,
could feel it all the way from here. He has that fire.
mm,
He's very vibrant. He's very knowledgeable of the law, and somebody like myself who background is in law can see and feel that passion. So I stand for with it, and especially when you have an eye for right and wrong, I just feel like he's the right choice.
mhm.
I would choose Winnie too, if if we were ready for that.
So now you're talking. Okay, let's just before we come to Winnie, let's talk about Sifuna here, because like we know, for now Sifuna is one of those politicians who have very large following due to the
Right.
fact that the way he is speaking, because he speaks what is
It's the truth boldly.
the, yeah. And do you think right now, from where you sit, that the community or the society or Kenyans at large understands that?
I think a lot of us do. I think there's enough of us that do, and that's all it takes, is that a large of us I see are behind him,
Mhm.
and let everybody else catch that fire, because it only takes a matter of time till they catch that fire.
Mhm.
Uh,
So what
Succeed or
can
not.
okay, so what can people in diaspora, especially especially you, like, who are in diaspora and identifying with somebody like Sifuna, what support can you give Sifuna, especially for those in diaspora, if to say the need be?
I number one, prayer, and prayer number one. It's huge, and
Mm,
just constant encouragement,
mm.
and whatever is needed. I think at this point we should all come together and support.
But, but do you think, like those who are in diaspora, you can come up with the group, especially to support them?
Absolutely, we did it for the leaders before. Why not? Absolutely.
So maybe if the crew of Sifuna might be looking somebody to be their spokesperson or their point person.
Hey,
You can take.
I'll step right on it. He's lucky. Where
Yeah.
he's lucky. He's
Okay.
lucky.
All right. Now let's come to Winnie Odinga. We know Winnie Odinga is the last born of the Right Honorable Prime Minister, and is coming from Jaramogi's family. And the narrative of the politics of Kenya has always been shaped by that family. What do you admire about Winnie?
Her strength, number one, her strength. You
Mm.
know, being a woman to be that strong, it takes a lot of. I don't know how she does it because I would have threw 1,001 fits. Yeah.
Uh, okay, but what
Drama.
about, when you look at his political point of view or his political
He or
view?
she. Are we
Yeah.
talking about Winnie?
No, sorry, we're talking about Winnie. When you look at the Winnie's political view, do you align yourself with her political view, or
Absolutely, absolutely. We are one of the same. That is my sister. Yes, we are one of the same. I absolutely agree with her 110%. Yes.
so in a situation like right now, we know we have wrangles in ODM, and yesterday she kind of like joined the other group of ODM Linda Ground, which are not agreeing with Sifuna. How are you going to balance your political views amongst the two strong
Well,
candidates?
she's there. She's
Yeah.
there, and she's there. She's on the ground. So you know, till I'm there, I have to just support her decisions. She's there.
Mhm. Okay. So you will support her decision whether she breaks out from Sifuna's group, so you will tend to go with her and leave Sifuna on the other side.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Now, share with us, especially the current issue, especially like somebody who is living in diaspora, and the experience alone in diaspora, because I know you came to diaspora when you were still very young. You growing up to where you are, how would you categorize, or what can you say about the diaspora life generally?
It's been rough, and a lot of people think that America is the land of milk and honey. For
Mhm.
me, anyway, it hasn't been that. My milk and honey was back in Kenya, but
Mm,
that that's here or that's spoiled milk or whatever they say. But
mm,
it's been rough for me,
mm,
and I can't wait to come back to where I belong.
mm.
So it's been rough.
Yeah. Okay. But in terms of career wise, or and
If you want, I mean, my background, I've been doing nothing but learning while I'm
mhm,
here.
yeah.
I've been doing nothing but learning. So I have a background in law, especially in immigration, family law, human services. Currently, I'm a job coach, job developer. So I could go on as far as qualifications and what I've learned being in the USA. I've learned a lot.
Mhm.
I learned
So
a lot.
maybe the message for those who are especially from back home, who have different view of the diaspora life.
I know they think it's living in America is tough. You have to work really hard. I know for me, for myself, when I came in the early 90s. And in the early 90s, there were rarely any Africans. So we were like a sprinkle.
Mhm.
It was tough. We had to fight for our rights to even be here because
Yeah.
we were there like, who are you people? We didn't belong. We weren't like the black people that were here. We were different. So
Mhm.
it was tough growing up as an African woman or a Kenyan woman living in America. It was tough
Mhm.
because we had to fight. We had, my English was what they call perfect or not like their English. So I had to perfect my English to be like theirs to be
Okay.
accepted, you know? So it
Mm-hmm.
was tough. It was tough.
That is the accent.
Yeah,
You-
the accent, so Now I face the other. Now Kenyans, I'm not Kenyan enough because my English is perfect.
Oh, okay. Now, if you go to Kenya now, you even find it very difficult
Yeah,
now.
yeah. It's very tough to identify with. So, but I love being dual. I love being dual. I love it. I love it.
What do you love about Kenya, um, as compared to the diaspora where you are?
That's where my heart is. That's where my heart is. Kenya is home. Kenya is where my heart is. That's the difference. That's where my people. That's where I identify with. That's where I belong.
Okay, okay. That was just like Alfred Kidogo.
Kidogo.
Au- nikutoe kwa reli kidogo. Do you still speak Kiswahili or no?
No. Angay manaduluo kande, but Kiswahili ang kangayo. Mana sawa. Sawa. Jumbo, a little bit. But I'm a quick learner, so give me a year, I'll know Swahili.
You will
With the
know
right
Swahili.
teachers, the right people. Yeah.
Um, um, let's come back to our conversation, and we are looking at especially Kenyans who are in diaspora, especially what role can they play in terms of leadership and shaping the country.
They could step up and implement what they see, what they know is right here, because and even though we've gone through different government, whether you're Republican or a Democrat, we've gone through the ups and downs. But one thing you could say about America, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, they do a lot. You have rights, and there's things that they could gain from the government here that they could implement there if they would just be step up.
Yeah, so like because like we find that during election, like I know our election will be coming in around 100 and something days. We will be going to our election, and majority of times, or most of the times, those who are going for those big offices, sometimes they do come to the United States to talk to the people in diaspora, and they want to tell them what they are going to do if elected. And majority of times, even the diasporans sometimes collect money for their campaigns. But you find that after them coming, maybe they are winning, there is no implementation. So in case one of them come to the diaspora, what can the diaspora tell them to do something differently than the previous leaders who have come to seek for their support have been doing? What different can they do, or can they make?
Well, I'm going to speak for myself. I'm not telling anybody anything. I'm just going to come and actually try to make the change myself. So I'm not telling any leader to do anything. I'm just going to act on my own and make that change.
So from where I sit, this is what I understand. You want to make that change by going back to Kenya.
Absolutely.
So, maybe for just in brief, if it happens, especially when you go back to Kenya, where are you interested, especially in terms of leadership and kind of like making these changes?
I gotta start from my own hometown, Mbita, Rusinga, Suba. So, that's where I would start. That's where I would come from.
Rusinga, we have the Suba North, and you are at the Suba South, where Emilio Diambo comes from. Because Mbita is in Suba South, Mbita is in Suba North, I think. So Karoli is on the other side of Buat.
Listen, I will get lost if we start talking. I would get lost. So if you want to talk about geography, south, left, I'm like, what?
I'm just giving you the mapping, especially when you come to Mbita. Do you think your countrymen, especially, or your community, understands what it takes, especially when you come with a very good idea on how to solve some of the challenges that they are going through without asking those big questions or tougher questions to you?
Well, right now, I'm thinking we're the state of humans right now. You're dealing with the programmed and the non-programmed. So it is tough to kind of get through some people because they are programmed to think one way. So, we gotta stay resilient and keep knocking, keep trying to drill it in their heads. Like gotta keep coaching, life coach. Gotta keep coaching the people to how to think better, think differently.
Mm. Do you think you can coach them, and how long would it take you, since that is your profession, based on how you've been dealing? How long does it take human being to coach them and think differently?
I think 90 days. 90 days should be, if you have the right coach. 90 days is a
Mm.
good, should be able to change, make a change. Like I'm a coach, so I like to tell my clients or anybody, individuals or anybody that I coach, you have 90 days. You got me for 90 days. After that, you're on your own. But I'm still here for support. You got to coach a little bit different and back up. But that intense coach, 90 days.
So there's one of our viewer here is asking you this. This is from Judith. During campaigns, do you guys get the campaign money, those in diaspora, especially maybe if you're in diaspora and you're campaigning, do you get those monies?
What do you mean, do we get those monies?
Well, maybe like Kenya, during the campaigns, there's this money that are being dished out to people.
Do we get it or do we give it? We're the ones that are giving the money. What do you mean, do we get it? What kind of question is that? We're giving the money out. We give the money.
Maybe it's given to you because I know it's two-way traffic. You can be donated to you.
We work. I don't understand that question. You got to restate it.
Okay, let's say
I'm not understanding.
Okay, let me rephrase, kind of like say like this. When you come to, especially in developed world, talking about the U.S. general election, U.S. any election, you find that the voters, the citizens, do campaign, do raise money, funds for the people who are running. Yeah, vis-a-vis the Kenya, what happens is that the somebody who is running is giving out the money. So that's
stealing votes. That's persuading votes. If you are running and you're giving out money, and that is something that I saw the other day with Baba Owino, that I'm like, I don't even know. I don't want to call any names, but as a campaign, no, you're not supposed to be giving out any money because that means you're persuading people. Or I don't know. Why would you be giving out money? You need the money. So what are you giving out money for?
It depends from one thing let me tell you something. What usually happens, especially when you come to different spheres or different environment of politics, is quite much different, especially when you look at American politics in terms of donating or giving out funds. It's quite much different with the Kenyan, especially because, like, if you look at Kenyan, what usually happens that the leaders tend to give out money. It's like a persuasion. They're persuading you.
A president or somebody in leadership, sorry to cut you off, could donate to a charity or a fund. A donation is different from randomly picking. No. There's.
So how are you going? Let's say, for instance, now you've decided you've come home, and somebody would approach you from your area where you want to vie for, or you want to be their representative. They said, "Hello, this is what is happening. Could you please? I need such money for my school fee for my kid." How are you going to handle that? It is not going to be one, but maybe 10 of them.
It's not going to be out of my pocket because we should have resources where we could direct people to go get that kind of help. It's not going to be me handing you 1,000 shillings out of my pocket to hear, because I can't fix everybody's problem. Then everybody's going to be coming. But there should be some kind of bank, some kind of resources where people could be pointed if they need funds for schools.
Yes. But and that is I don't know. It is true that there are people or there are departments that is given that responsibility to make sure the citizens go to school. But you find that in the country is quite much different.
They give it to their own people. They don't distribute it the right way. They don't even display it. Some people don't even know about it. That those funds are available. So there's got to be a change. There's people that don't even have internet. So if they don't have internet to be able to access these resources, how do they know there's a resource for school funding?
Mm. So
Ooh,
that one still
be
brings
money low.
that still brings us to about the leadership that
Right.
we still have problem to do with the leadership, especially in Kenya. Let's talk about Babu Owino, and it seems that you have different view or on Babu Owino. What what
Uh,
what what view do you have about Babu Owino?
I th- I just feel he's not. I've never met him, but I like to think I'm a great profiler, and judging by his actions and just profiling him, he just doesn't seem too honest.
Mm-hmm,
There's layers. He has layers, and
mm-hmm,
trying to, as a leader, people we shouldn't have to have layers, multiple layers to take off. You shouldn't have multiple faces. It should be one way. We know
well, like,
you're blue or red.
oh, okay, but if you look at is among the leaders, especially younger leaders, that people tend to follow, or he tend to have
Right, because
such a
he's
following.
very persuasive. He's very persuasive. He's a good attorney. But
Mm,
there are attorneys that are way better than him that could see beyond the facade and
mm,
the you can't persuade everybody.
mhm. So maybe what can you point out that is making you not to put him amongst the best, or amongst the best that can change the leadership of the country?
He uses basic logic, and we need people with higher thinking.
Hmm.
And to me, that's what I think. He uses basic logic, and we need higher thinking. So
Hmm. All right. Okay. Now let's come to the ODM party. I believe this is a party that always you followed his its politics and where it is currently. Currently, ODM is experiencing that leadership wrangles. At the same time, they are working with the government, especially if you are given the opportunity at least to give some advice. What can you give to their leadership? What can you say about the leadership of ODM currently? As
who's
a
the leader? Who's the leader of ODM?
Oburu Odinga, Daktari.
He needs to take a nap.
Oburu is a
I don't
youth.
tell him to go take a nap. Go take a time out. We need to put him in time.
Oburu is a youth leader. He's a youth.
Whew. No, let me be nice.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really not much to say. I think it's being said in its own where nobody's happy with the current state of where ODM is, but we are ODM, so we're gonna stand by. We're gonna stand by and stand strong, and we're gonna see where it's gonna head. But currently our leader needs to go take a nap. He got to go with Ruto. So
Why do you think they do not want to give younger leaders an opportunity to be at the steering wheel of the party?
maybe because they're selfish. I think maybe they're really trying to make it to their last days with their pockets heavy. It has to be because it makes
Mm,
no sense. It makes
mm.
no sense.
So,
Makes no
and that one,
sense.
and what can you say about your governor, Gladys Wanga?
I don't even know her. So that goes to show that she's not even making any. Don't even. Sorry.
Okay.
I
Mm,
know her a little bit. Let me give her some. I know a little bit, but
mm,
yeah.
okay. All right. Okay. Thank you so much. Now, when are you coming home so that we can prepare to launch your project or to launch your candidate? Okay, I lost you. Thank you very much, everyone who is watching. I think there's a problem coming from Aside, this is Brother Benson Media, and today we were having a conversation with one of the Kenyans in diaspora concerning what is taking place in the country and the view they have, in, the view they have, especially when it comes to leadership of the country. So that is where we are. We are still waiting for her. If she comes back, tutaendelea na mazungumzo. Thank you so much, everyone, as we still wait for her to come back to the show. There's a quite development that I saw, and I think somebody should confirm to me. The commercial courts have given Tuju reprieve of his property. I saw it somewhere, and I don't know how true that is. And to stop the auction, that is would be a good thing for, if it happens, that one will be a good thing for Tuju, because this was one of those news that were not very good, especially if you see that your property of such worth is just going like that in a very questionable way. Linda Mwananchi have given out their timeline, especially on their timeline on where they're going to be. And they're going to be this Sunday, they're going to be in Narok, and we will witness how the Maasai warriors or the people from Olentutu, alikuwa naitwa Olentimama side, will be responding to the Linda ground, whether it will be massive or it will flop. So that is something that we will be looking at too. Let me go on the trending issue. And one of the trending issue is here. Let me just read for you. And this is one. Ruto accuses Gachagua of impregnating and killing Nyeri blogger in 2019. Ruto claimed, this is the president, Ruto claimed Gachagua impregnated Maureen Gadhigia Kinyua, a popular Nyeri blogger, then killed her to cover up. She died in May 24, 2019, hit and run near Sagana Catholic Church, classified by the police show that. But one of the things that stand out also in that case, President William Ruto also during that time made a call, especially made a call, especially to the mama, the mother. There's a video showing President William Ruto making a call, condoling with the family. So the question is, if indeed it was true, so the legal action should be taken against Rigathi Gachagua. If they have evidence, that one should be taken to court, and Rigathi Gachagua should go and defend himself there. So that is also something that is trending here. Okay, let me see this. Msimamo. Okay, let me. As I read, I'll send you a link now. Kaka, nipatie tu nafasi tu kidogo tu nikutumie link yetu, then tukue hapo. Okay, the link is there, so you can join me, my brother, so that we can have a discussion here for a few minutes before we wind up. So that is something that is there. There was also a high political octane whereby there was a body shaming, both president and yes, the two young brothers of mine, one, Makobura, they are having a funeral. Makobura will be traveling tonight to Nyakach. He has one of his relative who passed on the other day, and will be buried tomorrow. So Makobura will not be here. Miguda has been occupied during this week, but I know from next week Miguda will be here with us. So things will come back to normalcy here after the commitment. Another issue also here, a boda rider sues Busia governor for 100 million over alleged groin kick. I don't know whether you saw that. There was a time the governor of Busia, that was sometime last week, was distributing seedlings Then what happened? The guy was online. I don't know what happened. Then Otuoma, the governor, just decided to kick the guy. So the guy has gone to court and is demanding um, 100 million compensation. Yusuf Suleiman Hamisi filed the lawsuit on March 18th at Nairobi High Court, seeking damages for the March incident. That is March 6 incident at Bukri Market, where video shows Otuoma swinging his leg at him while saying, "You get out of there." Hamisi alleges severe pain, humiliation, fertility risk, denied medical reports, threats, and brief abductions, blaming violation of his constitutional rights to dignity and security. His lawyer calls it gross misconduct, warranting impeachment, with the petition also targeting police and other officials for investigating. Apology and protection. The court has set response dates for April. Mambo imeenda kotini. Hey, kaka barigani?
Ndugu salama, nashukuru Mungu. Kidogo naona mafua amenibana hapa kidogo, leo nimeshinda mnyonge, lakini tunamshukuru Mungu, tuko hapa. Tulikuwa tunamsikia dada yangu hapo, mwingine ananipita, maana uongenye huo.
wewe nikuulizaje? Wewe unasikia, ungepanua masikio. Gachagua anakuambia upanue masikio. Wewe uone Gachagua akipanua masikio pale kwa TV akiongelea maneno fulani?
Yani sikiza ground.
Unasema unasikiza ground. Uko shwari lakini?
Nashukuru uko shwari.
Okay, asante sana. Unajua, jana tulizungumzia mambo ya Winnie, kwamba Winnie mwenyewe amesaliti Sifuna, kwa watu wanasema hivyo, lakini watu wengine pia wako na mawazo tofauti na yale ambayo yanasemekana, na kuna tetesi kuwa kuanzia leo mpaka siku ile watu watakuwa naenda NDC, kuna mengi yatafanyika. Yeah? Na kuna ule mrengo wa Linda Ground, ni tetesi tu, ni kwamba wanazungumuza sana na Orengo arudi upande huu mwingine, alafu Babu Owino na Sifuna wapigwe teke. Hayo ni tetesi ambayo iko sasa, ni jambo ambalo lipo. Sijui kama mambo kama haya umeisikia.
Kiukweli sijasikia, lakini sidhani kama Orengo watakamilisha, kwa sababu yeye ndio baba upande huu. Au akina Sifuna na akina Babu wote wanamtegemea mzee Orengo kwa kweli. Lakini pia vile vile naamini kwamba hatajishusha hadhi na kuweza kuonekana msaliti kwa kuweza kuwasaliti hawa ndugu zake ambao wameanza nao waswa Linda Mwananchi. So kwa kweli labda kama kuna huo mpango upo, labda pengine upo, kwa sababu akitoka kule kama atajiunga huku na kama alivyofanya Winnie, basi akina Sifuna ni kama watakuwa wamemalizwa mazima, kwa sababu viongozi ni kama watakuwa wamepata mbavu kidogo ya kuweza kujipiga kifua. Lakini kiukweli ni kwamba Winnie, kama nilivyotangulia jana kusema, kwamba tutapata majibu kesho. Maana msemo mpweke siku zote hakosi. Kwa hiyo ni shairi dhahiri kwamba Winnie ameamua kujiunga upande ule ambako wazazi wake na familia yake ipo, hususan mama yake na mume wake mkubwa akiwa party leader, mama yake akiwa ambassador, basi amefungamana huko. So wazazi wao unakuta babu ameeleza kabisa kwamba jamangu hiyo ni ako ni kaziwa tu kidogo, hakata kutosheleza aswa kuzunguka vya kutosha. Kwa hivyo tunakuwari dry aswa urudi aswa kwa bahari hapa, ambapo utajinasua aswa na kujinafasi na kujitanua. So it's like already yeye ashafanya maamuzi, na kwa kweli ndivyo alivyo. Kwa hiyo kama kuna tetesi kama hizi, sidhani kama mzee wetu Orengo ataweza kujishusha hadhi kiasi hicho, kimtazamo wangu. Lakini kama mipango ipo, hiyo sikatai, ipo kwa sababu tumemuona ile juzi tukazungumza kwa kidogo hapo kwamba tulikuwa na timu ile ya Linda ground, akiwemo Somali na wengine haswa pande ule viongozi wengine. So it's like kuna hiyo mvutano hivyo hivyo kama tulivyoona ukimya wa Winnie, alafu mwisho wa siku ndo amezuka kuonyesha mahali yupo. So for real, ni mtazamo wangu.
Okay, haya ndio sasa, kwa sababu mimi nataka kukuletea tu habari zenye zinachipuka leo. Kisii, sikia. Kisii Governor Simba Arati says the united opposition is misusing ex-exterior CS Fred Matiang'i, adding that the team already has a preferred candidate, Kalonzo Musyoka. He also alleges that it's Dr. Matiang'i who asked him to declare Rigathi Gachagua persona non grata in in Gusii region. He will reveal more when President William Ruto comes to Gusii next week. Aha. Hii ni ukweli ama hii tu ni siasa tu?
Unajua na shida, si masikio yangu si kupata vizuri. Arati anasemaje aswa?
Arati anasema kwamba ni Matiang'i mwenyewe alimwambia kwamba Gachagua asikanyage Gusiiland, na anangoja siku ile rais ya Kisii ndio atasema hayo maneno. Na sasa swali ambayo nataka kuuliza Simba Arati, kama yeye ni muungwana na kiongozi na anatetea ndugu yake hapo, ona kashifu yale maneno ambayo rais alitumia kwa Matiang'i.
Hapo napo Unajua sijapata hizi, basi afuatilia zaidi kila amesema Arati.
Arati leo alikuwa Kisii na alikuwa na watu wengi sana ambao walikuwa wana pale lakini najua hayo ni siasa. Nadhani pia labda Arati ni kama ameingizwa baridi na hii mambo ya Matiang'i. Mbona asiambie tu watu kama rais hayuko? Mbona unangoja kusema kama rais anakuja? Kama alisema asitoe video watu waone, asiwe muoga.
Arati yuko njia panda kwa kweli. Yaani huku kuiwataka lakini vilevile pia anajikuta yuko peke yake, kwa sababu it's like Gusii yote imesimama na Matiang'i. So kiukweli yeye pia nguvu yake ilikuwa ni ODM, mzee ndo amemshikilia sana. Sasa hajui asimame kwa linda mwananchi wala asimame kwa linda ground, kwa sababu kila ilivyo, kama atasimama kwa linda ground, watu wake hawako kwa linda ground, wako kwa linda mwananchi. So hapa kuna kizungumkuta ambacho bila shaka hakimpi usingizi Arati.
Okay. Sawa.
Kwa sababu ingekuwa mfano pengine ya Gusiiland imeegewa katikati, pengine kuna fungu ambalo liko pande huko, kwa sababu hakuna kiongozi ambao wanahisi kwamba huenda simama katika kiti ngazi ya urais. Yaani ni ile nomba ilikuwa nayo, maybe hapo Arati ndiko kidogo na shavu. Lakini sasa hivi ana maswali kwa sababu already Wakisii wanaelewa fika kwamba vyovyote vile piga huwa Matiang'i na huenda akasimama kama mgombea urais haswa wa United Opposition. Na kama si Matiang'i basi labda pengine Kalonzo. So hii yote
okay. All right. Kakangu
tunazungumzia tu kwa mtiani, tulimsikiza wenyewe haswa Matiang'i akisema na flat. So it's like ni huku anataka kwa sababu nilimruga hapo mwanzo, yani hangeonyesha kabisa, angesimama pale alipokuwa anasimama tangu alikuwa mwananchi, lakini sasa akajiburuga kiasi kwamba alikuwa upande huu na huku sasa hivi kuna mashiko vile, unaona. So labda katika hiyo hali naweza nikaweka kaka Benson. Asante.
Okay, kakangu, mi sina budi, itabidi nifunge kwa sababu kuna mahali ambao nataka pia niende ni pige shughuli kidogo. Leo pia unajua mimi kuna mahali niliitwa niende nifanye live streaming. Kuna jamaa Nigeria, jamaa anagonga 50 years, so amenialika nimfanyie live streaming kwa channel yake. Alikuwa nataka cameras na everything, so itabidi niende nikampatie ndio shughuli iendelee. Sawa sawa. Hata naona dada yangu ameingia hapa.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello, how are you doing? I kind of like can you please on your mic please? I cannot still get you. There's a problem with your mics. Bado sikupati. Your mics. Kaka unanisikiza? Unanipata lakini?
Uko sawa, nakupata, lakini langu simpati hapo.
Okay, there's a problem with the mic. Let me see what she showed. Okay, this is what Maurice Mwangera. She saw the light. She couldn't follow the guy who's had no agenda, no reasonable for sensible issue based. His work is only to make noise and open his big mouth talking about nonsense and doing prong. Who is that? You're saying Sifuna?
Pengine mbeba anazungumzia anajibu hili la Arati.
Anajibu ya Arati. Anajibu ya Arati.
Arati kwamba she saw the light, she couldn't follow the guy who's had no agenda. So kwa hapa for no agenda tayari hii si broad based government wala si ODM. No agenda hii ni ya UDA. Hilo la kwanza. A reasonable and sensible issue based hii pia still bado ni ya UDA. His work is all to make noise and open his big mouth talking nonsense and doing propaganda. Also, this belongs to UDA. It does not belong to ODM. This is not the stand of the original ODM. So so Maurice, please kindly. Hapa. Haya, anyway, ni mtazamo wake tunauheshimu, lakini lazima tusimame kwenye kweli pia.
Okay, asante sana Mr. Morris kwa maoni yako, tunaishukuru sana, na kesho pia tutakuwa hapa, utanena na sisi. Hello Vivian. Hello Vivian. Okay, there's a problem with your mic. Kuna shida kwa mic yake and kaka, wacha nikushukuru sana. Najua kesho tutaingia. Kesho itabidi tumeingia mapema kwa sababu kuna mambo mengi ambayo itabidi tunajadili, kwa sababu mrengo wa Linda Mwananchi itaandaa mkutano wa umma sambamba na Linda Ground. So mambo kutachemka siku hiyo. Okay, let me take this.
Tena siku moja hiyo yote itakuwa ni siku moja, sasa tuone tutakuwaje. Maana wote wameandaa the same day.
Hello, can you hear me? Check your mic. I cannot hear you. All right, Kaka, thank you so much. Let's meet tomorrow as we discuss on this. Siski, sikupati, your mic. Can you check your mic? Kindly check your mic. Let me see what Maurice Nabado, you remember Maraga, Matiangi na Gashagwa J, to pull crowds do not amount to votes. Okay. All right, we'll see what happens. Let me try to reach you. And I cannot get you. I cannot. All right. To everyone who joined us, let me take this opportunity to thank you all, and we will meet you next time. I cannot sikupati.